Okay, hey guys, we're back for another episode. I'm going to go over the balance changes today because there's some interesting things that have happened. Most of the changes are actually the same as what we saw before. So, Cannoneer nerf, okay, I guess. Duchess nerf, I don't think she needed it, but that's okay. Chef nerf, also didn't think he needed it, also okay. I don't like the tower troops, so I'm fine with them getting nerfed. Evo Snowball, I'm fine with that nerf. I wasn't really playing against Evo Snowball that much, but that's because I'm not high enough on ladder to be facing all the Drill Snowball players. But I never really lost to many Drill Snowball players either, because it's such an easy deck that everyone playing is bad, so I never really had a problem with the card. Evo Skelly Barrel, death damage nerf. I don't think this is really going to do anything, but I also never really have a problem with Evo Skelly Barrel either, because almost every deck I play counters it. Minor. Huge nerf, because not only is this another Crown Tower damage nerf, because now with less overall DPS it does less damage to towers, it also does less damage when sniping enemy units, and also does less damage when you play it on defense. So there are 3 scenarios in which you can play a Minor, and in all 3 of those scenarios it is worse. Except for when you're using it to tank for something. I love it that they're making Minor a bait-only card. I love bait so much! Okay, so, Rage. They're nerfing Rage. Well, this is a nerf. They're buffing Rage to have like the same amount of damage as the Zap and that kind of stuff. It doesn't It doesn't do damage like a Log. It's still like Zap level Rage, not Log level. So I don't know what this damage buff is for. The duration decrease is going to hit really hard, I think. I don't think Rage is going to be good anymore after this. Spear Gobs. I love this. I love this so much. So what they were going to do is they were going to make the first hit time from 0.4 to 0.6. Instead, they decided 0.4 to 0.5, but they nerfed the range by a half tile. This half tile range nerf is humongous. So you know how like when a Spear Gob has half health, right? It walks to your side of the map and it still gets a hit on your tower? That doesn't happen anymore. With the 0.5 range nerf, it does not get a hit on your tower at half health. That's so good. That little difference right there was the difference between the meta we had before spam bait and spam bait. Because just the fact that they always got hits on your tower and they bypassed to your tower so incredibly easy made it so that we went from like bait is pretty good too, bait being the meta, like all of the meta. So this little range nerf, I'm hoping will kick log bait out for a little while. Firecracker. This is fine. I don't have any positive feelings towards Firecracker. She's also usually pretty easy to beat because the players who play her are bad. So the sight range nerf I've been calling for a long time. I'm glad to see they're doing that. I don't think a half tile is really going to be enough though. I think they should nerf the sight range by another half tile and then give her a small buff to compensate with like maybe projectile speed so she doesn't miss so often. Empress. I am terrified of this. If you've seen my other series, like my deck building series and my custom decks that I make for myself, Empress has been hard carrying every deck that I build. Hard carrying. And they're buffing her. And not just hit points like they said they were, they're also adding a range buff on top of that. So if you remember, a range buff is the difference between log bait being strong to log bait being the entire meta. And what do we have right now? Empress, who is already strong, getting a range buff. I'm thinking that we're having an Empress meta. Empress in like, maybe what, 20% of decks? That's my call out for now. I don't think ground form needed a health buff either. I mean, she already survives a mini P.E.K.K.A shot, which is pretty good for a 3 elixir card. Especially one that does the DPS of a prince. Phoenix, they didn't buff its DPS, which I'm pretty fond of, because I mean, that Mega Minion's whole thing is that it does DPS more efficiently than a Phoenix. If you buff the Phoenix DPS, then the Mega Minion has literally 0 purpose in life. So this doesn't really do much, but I guess it's something. Golem, this is a much more reasonable buff. They were going to buff its damage by more than 100%. Now it's down to 74, so that's okay, I guess. Zappies, this is unchanged. This is fine. Zappies needed it. Minions, they're changing it, so instead of giving them a move speed buff, they're giving them a range buff. I'm not sure how I feel about that, because move speed is very important, but range is also extremely important. And not just, like, it's not a small range buff. It's not a half tile like most rangers are getting. It's 0.9 tiles. That's a lot of tiles. That's like 2 range buffs stacked on top of each other. So we might end up seeing a minion meta. Not minion horde, because horde still sucks, but minions themselves might be good. Evo Witch, this is what I was talking about. She is going to be garbage now. They should buff her heal. I think what they should do is instead of buffing her heal per skeleton, they buff her max health to have no cap. So, no cap on God, bro. But they should nerf her overheal to have no cap. So, if you do kill her skeletons too early, she'll heal up to become a monster by the time she crosses the river. But if you just don't kill her skeletons until she crosses, then she's just a regular witch. So she has a good case, she has a bad case, and then everything works out nicely from there. But right now, she doesn't really have a good case anymore. Because, like, you kill her Skellies, she overheals, like, still within lightning range, and you can still lightning her. So she's just kind of trash now, because her worst case is still the same, except her best case is also extremely worse. So I think that they might have killed Evo Witch, which is fun. Evo Dark God, Poison Cloud duration 4 to 1 seconds. I like that a lot. They're making it so that it's not an entire lane killer, more like just a single unit killer, which is still extremely good, of course, but for pushes like E-Giant, where you need that single unit, Evo Dark God's still overpowered. For pushes like Golem, where most of the powers in the support cards, Evo Dark God's not going to be nearly as good anymore. Also, that hit speed nerf, honestly, I prefer it with the higher hit speed. I know it gets kind of annoying having such a high hit speed, but high hit speed means it's better against Graveyard, and any excuse to hurt Graveyard is a positive in my book. So they're trying to, actually wait, they gave it a bigger damage buff than I realized, so there might actually be an overall DPS increase, which certainly is something. We'll have to see about that. Dark Cob might be really good, like regular Dark Cob, not Evo. Archers, they get an overall damage buff. Evo Archers get less damage per power shot, but they can activate it more often. So, I think that Evo Archers are still going to be broken after this. I mean, the problem with Evo Archers is just that you can't kill them reasonably because Split Archers is just so hard to kill. It's 1.5 elixir each, but you can't kill them for 1 elixir. You can't kill them for 2 elixir because that's a negative trade, so you're guaranteed to take a negative trade into Evo Archers every time they play them. So, yeah. I don't really know what to do about Evo Archers. I think they're still going to be really good. I think Expo's still going to be really good. That's just kind of how it works. And the last balance is Gobhut. So, this is okay. I was hoping for a health nerf. I think that Gobhut should die to lightning, or at least mostly die to lightning, kind of like a bomb tower does, instead of actually considerably surviving the lightning. So this Spear Gob deployment delay is actually going to be really good because half time. Normally a Spear Gob, when it spawns out of the hut, it does nothing for the first second, but now it does nothing for the first half second. So you get your Spear Gob starting to help you on a defense a half second sooner, or 50% sooner, which is really good. And 1 second decreased spawn speed is not really going to do all that much. I mean, like, it'll go from it permastalls to P.E.K.K.A. to it'll permastall P.E.K.K.A. for 10 seconds until the P.E.K.K.A. can break through. But 10 whole seconds. The P.E.K.K.A.'s dead in 10 seconds. That's not really going to change anything. So I think this might actually be a Gobhut buff, but what I do think is that because of the Spear Gob hit speed nerf, well, the first hit speed nerf, and the range nerf, I think that this will be an overall nerf to Gobhut. And of course, this is just a flat nerf to Spear Gobs and Gob Gang, which is very nice to see. So yeah, pretty solid balances, I'd say. Yeah, but this is the deck I've been playing recently. I just like playing Giant Cyclo. It's kind of fun. But I'm gonna try out my Empress spam deck again because I was already worried that Empress was underrated and people were not playing her well. But now with a range buff and a health buff, I think that she's gonna just be kind of monstrous. She already kind of fills the role of a flying machine plus a Mega Minion, where she doesn't really have any. No, it's not. She fills the role of Boss Bandit. That's what I mean to say. So, you know how a Boss Bandit doesn't really have any bad matchups in terms of the cards? She has only one bad matchup. Well, she has two. There's Swarms, and then there's P.E.K.K.A., right? So, Empress is a lot like Boss Bandit in the sense that she also doesn't have very many bad matchups, except instead of just Swarms and P.E.K.K.A., it's just Swarms because there is no version of an Air P.E.K.K.A. He's probably going to ability this, so I'm just going to Ram. Yeah. Ram's got a whole lot of health because Barbs actually have a lot of health when there's no splash involved. So Barbs are a pretty solid tanking unit. I'm guessing he's back to his pigs right about now. I don't know. So what I have to do is pretty much just get an Empress behind a P.E.K.K.A. and then I'll win. That's literally the win condition of this deck. Evo Ram is nice and all. Evo Zap is nice and all. It's just get an Empress behind a P.E.K.K.A. and then you win. Because Empress is just such a crazy unit. I mean, of course, you typically want to demolish her in there too to get the Skellies out of the way. But outside of that, this Empress really is the win con. I think that doesn't connect? Jeez, okay. I almost wonder if they should nerf the projectile speed of Cannon sometimes. Cannon is really good at map denial for only 3 elixir. Well, I don't really need to count his deck. He's playing Queen Pigs. I don't really need the Evo Zap that much in this. Never mind, I do. I was thinking about, do I need Evo Zap in this matchup? But I forgot, actually, that Evo Zap Poison is needed to kill the Queens. I snap off his Queen right there. Yeah, that's very nice. Actually, that's something that helped out from the range buff. If the range buff hadn't happened there, he actually would have been able to get his pigs down in time. But because of the range nerf, because of the range buff, he wasn't able to get his pigs down in time. And he's literally just dead right now. I don't know. Oh, right, because he played 5 elixir into my units. So he lost practically his entire health there off of the single Empress. So that's fun. I'm thinking of just going for a ram to kite this backwards. It's essentially 1 elixir to counter the recruit, because he's going to have to play 3 elixir to counter this himself. Or 2 elixir because Evos, but if he only gets a +1 off of his Evo Spirit, that's about as good of a trade as I can ask for. I'm just going to straight up poison zap this immediately. I believe that will take his tower, and I don't want to deal with the queen. If he does ability that, then I'll just E-Wiz it. No, I won't. He played that opposite lane, which is, I guess, smart. So he spent 1 elixir to kill my Demolisher. Queen is just the queen of positive trades. You play your 1 elixir, you get your positive trade. That's kind of how it just works. But I don't think that this guy is going to survive this matchup, considering he kind of lost his entire tower off of a single Empress there. I think I will still poison this. I know that poison and zap won't full kill a queen, but the Empress will make it very difficult for him to protect his queen. I don't know what he thinks he's doing with that. And now the queen is dead. I didn't really have to play my P.E.K.K.A. at all in this matchup because I just have pretty solid, pigs counters outside of my stuff. And you can see there the Empress is bypassing again straight to the tower. That's half of his tower again. So I've played only 2 Empresses in this matchup, and both times I played it, I took at least half of his tower. Alright, next game. So, yeah. I don't play Rage in this deck because I just don't like Rage. It doesn't feel right to me. If you play Rage, then you're missing Evo Zap. And if you're missing Evo Zap, you kind of lose to Firecrackers, you kind of lose to Infernos. It just doesn't seem right. The only time you use Rage is when you're using something that's already overpowered. Oh boy, this guy's a real player. Well, I've got a pretty good matchup in Expo because it's extremely hard to keep an Empress off of an Expo. I've got a heavy tank, and I've got something that typically explodes on the Expo pretty nicely. I played that Lumberjack in the back left because I didn't want to take any Archer damage, but I realized, whoa, this is an Expo. Alright, this is actually probably spam. Because, wait, no, Evo Archer's Spirit Tesla Ram Rider, what? I have no idea what this guy's playing. I should probably start cycling around to my, Evo Zap, though, because I'm willing to bet that this guy's playing, Evo Archers, because Evo Archers are just so extremely overpowered. Yeah, there they are. He's ahead of me by 1 cycle, which is the problem. I'm probably going to have to poison them, but if he plays them in the back behind his King Tower, I'm just dead. Evo Tesla, too. I should start cycling around to my Ram. So the strategy for this matchup is going to be, well, Evos matter more than regular play at this point, so it's more of just a how can you outdo their Evos than how can you outdo them in general. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be trying to get my Evo Ram on a cycle when he doesn't have his Evo Tesla, and I'm also going to try and make sure that I have my Evo Zap for his Evo Archers. So he played them in the front this time, which is very nice for me. You can see that first Spear Gob, neither Spear Gob gets hits on my tower, which is crazy. So there was 2 half-health Spear Gobs there, and neither of them got hits. I should have P.E.K.Ka'd that. The Rage will do something, but not as much as I think he'd like, because he spent, what, 7 elixir for my 4, so it was a 3 elixir trade there, and he didn't really get all that much out of it. And also, by the way, I definitely 100% should have P.E.K.Ka'd that. I don't know what I was thinking, not P.E.K.Ka'ing. Anyway, this is his Evo Tesla cycle, so I'm going to try and set up a P.E.K.K.A. push, force him to Evo Tesla. If he decides to Archers, then I can just, well, actually, I can't zap him anymore, because I don't have my Evo Zap in hand. I didn't have my Evo Zap to begin with. I'll probably just Demolisher and then poison the Archers, so I can get my damage for this push. Okay, this is fine. He's doing a good job of splitting up my pushes, which is annoying, but what I do love to see is that he just wasted his Evo Tesla, which means that on this next cycle, I can actually set up a good push now. So, the Evo Tesla goes down. The Demolisher should get to tower if he doesn't play anything else there. Yeah, very nice. So, oh, Zap, interesting. So I'm going to P.E.K.K.A. the river and then Ram behind. I'm going to straight up ignore that, Ram Rider and go all in right now, because I know that this is practically just the kill push right here. I'm going to zap this, keep the Empress alive, and make sure that the Archers go down. I will Lumberjack this in the last minute, because he didn't show me a big spell, and I'd like to make him play some extra stuff to take my tower here. Because, based on what I've seen, it's going to be extremely difficult for him to take my tower, and I've got a 3-crown push going right now, so I think that he's going to pretty much just die right now. I don't know what those Evo Archers were. He kind of just really fumbled that. Empress didn't really do anything special in that game, but, I mean, she was a part of the 3-crown push, I guess. That was just him playing bad. He should not have gone for a Ram Rider when I was setting up a push that was going to kill him. I had my Evo cycle, my double Evo cycle, when he had no Evos in hand, which means that he had to be extremely passive in order to survive. Evos means that I cycled him first. I don't even really have to think. Okay, recruits. Usually what I'll do against recruits is poison one side, Demolisher the other, but since I've already committed 4 elixir to that lane, I think I have to just suffer. I'm going to Demolisher this lane, and then Lumberjack, or maybe E-Wiz? I think I'm going to E-Wiz and Lumberjack. Normally you have only 3 elixir to counter a recruit's lane, but I kind of just have to play it if I don't want to lose everything here. Alright, this is fine. I'll probably just Empress on this Furnace right here. Furnace is an interesting card. I don't know what to say about the rework. He's existent. I'm hoping that he won't Little Prince ability this, because I actually don't have really anything for that. But I think that after the Demolisher, he won't have Elixir to play it. Very nice. If he did Little Prince ability to that, I was going to have to wait for a P.E.K.K.A. and then P.E.K.K.A. the Little Prince, and then just eat the Demolisher damage afterwards and try and commit to a P.E.K.K.A. push. But of course, he was going to be able to cycle around to another Recruits, so I wasn't really going to get anything for that. That would have been a very unfortunate starting hand there. I was going to have saved my Lumberjack, but I couldn't have known that yet. All right, we're down by what, 250 damage right now. That's not bad. There's another Furnace. I'll probably just P.E.K.K.A. the back. The thing with Furnace is that Fire Spirits don't get you good value into big heavy tanks like a P.E.K.K.A., so I'm just gonna play it, and it's probably gonna work out very nicely. I think I'm gonna Demolisher this lane because the P.E.K.K.A. will be able to handle this lane, and I can just poison this side. All right, this is fine. So how much should I spend there? I spent 4 for his 3, 6, 10. All right, and I still take 1 hit. Okay, interesting. But I believe I am pretty close to my Evo cycle right now, so I'm not really minding how much damage I'm taking right now. Because once I get my Evo cycle going with an Empress at the back, then it's really going to start. Oh boy, he has Evo Furnace. I love pay-to-win players. They're so fun. I'm going to start just setting up with my Empress right now, because Empress is just kind of a menace, you know. She one-taps the spirits. She's got so much damage per second. I'm going to P.E.K.K.A. high right now, because I don't want anything sniping off my Empress. I don't know what he thinks he's doing with that. That's not going to work at all. Alright, so, I think I'm just going to let this go for now. Demolish her later. Zap these. Yeah, the Empress is tanking those Fire Spirits quite nicely. He's setting up a second Furnace, but that doesn't really do anything. I'm sure he saw the YouTubers playing, like, extra Furnaces, but that's not how you're meant to play a Furnace. That's just giving me extra value with my units. The YouTubers did that just because they wanted to make a cool-looking push, not because it actually works. Well, the Little Empress should be able to full counter that side of Recruits, because Little Empress is kind of insane. He's getting me P.E.K.K.A. value, which is not a good play from him. I didn't get much out of my Evo push there, but that's of course because I didn't actually play my Evos. I saw that he was overcommitting to that, so I decided against it. That's an annoying ability there, because he gets to mostly kill my P.E.K.K.A. But I am going all in with this, even though the P.E.K.K.A. is mostly dead, just because of the fact that I've got both of my Evos down right now. I'm going to Evo Zap this to try and make sure that I get maximum damage, so now I am up by 100 damage. I wasn't as much damage as I would have liked to get. He was playing very careful there to make sure I couldn't get as much damage as I would have liked out of my Evo push, but I am still up, because Evos, yippee. So he's playing Recruits Furnace as his 2 Evos. He's back around to another Evo Furnace. He's probably going to try and opposite lane. No, he's same laning my... Okay, that's crazy. He should definitely have played opposite lane of my P.E.K.K.A. there. I can snipe this Little Prince off the map. This is a time that the Empress HP buff is going to come quite in handy. I can just E-Wiz this, because that'll keep the stuff off of my Empress. Okay, this is fine. I had to poison this because the whole Evo Furnace thing is that it gets almost 3 times as fast spawns when it's attacking something, so you really don't want it to be on your tanks. Alright, I'll just Demolish this. I don't know what he thinks he's doing with that. That's just not how you play Furnace in the slightest. The entire point of Furnace is that it's a ranger that you put behind your push, and you put it straight into my Prince DPS. So he's still down damage right now. I'm hoping that he might actually take a Ram Charge here. That was a missed prediction there. But I do get the Ram Charge, which is what I was looking for. This guy has no idea how to play the game. Jeez. Insane. Okay, well, I don't really know what to say. He's kind of just trash. He keeps giving me damage for no reason. Well, he keeps giving me Elixir for no reason. I'm going to P.E.K.K.A. this because I need to make sure that that Demolisher doesn't get on my tower. Not a Demolisher, that. What's it? The thingy thing. I'm pretty sure he gave up right now. He's been leaking Elixir for a little bit, so yeah, that's game. It's actually really nice of them to be giving us 4 Evos like that. I'm kind of surprised that they did that because, like, 1 Evo is supposed to be 6 months, well, what? 3 months of work? So 4 Evos is an entire year's worth of Evos just off the bat. That's a very aggressive play that I just made right there. 6 Elixir first play of the game. And that's an extremely aggressive play right there because he spent 4 Elixir to not even kill 2/3 of my Empress. And the whole thing with Empress is that she's only good... Oh boy. So, I mean, she's only bad into swarms, and he just wasted his swarm as well. So I think he's just dead right now, which is very fun. I'm gonna zap this. I really want that archer to get off the map, and I think, yeah. So, it looks like this guy's playing Expo, but he's also just completely lost because the Empress took a little bit more than 2/3 of his entire tower. I don't know why he's clapping. I did Empress first play, which is very aggressive and kind of starting handy, but he fireballed it, which was trash, so it's his fault. He could fireball this if he wanted to, and it would actually be fine value, so, yeah. That's the thing with Cycle. You can kind of just fireball whatever you want and get away with it, except for Empresses, because Empresses are overpowered, especially after the health buff. The health buff didn't really change anything there. I wish I had my Zap in Cycle. I want to get my second Zap down for a second Archers, but I can't really do it right now. I'm intentionally playing all of my low health cards, by the way, because I want to make sure that I have my P.E.K.K.A. in hand for his next Expo. I kind of just ignore the left side Archer there. I'm guessing that what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to poison his evil archers. Wow, this guy is trash at the game. I'm just going to P.E.K.K.A. the river here. He wasted a lot of elixir in that little push thing that he did. I'm going to lumberjack this because he's probably going to want a knight behind. Yeah, that wasn't predictable at all. Okay, so, oh wait, he's not playing evil archers. That's kind of sad for him. Well, I don't really mind this push going nowhere. I could have zapped those skellies and maybe gotten, like, I could have gotten a couple lumberjack. I should have zapped those skellies. Actually, I was thinking about it. I didn't want to waste the elixir, but I'm going to have to get around to my... I don't have to get around my Evo Zap. Yeah, I don't know what's going on. I'm going to zap this anyway, because Evo zapping archers is still a really good trade, even if they aren't Evo'd. Probably just wait and then Empress the back, because I can't risk playing my Demolisher or my Ram, because both of them are really good into Expo. Yeah, this guy has absolutely no idea how to play the game. So that's the wrong Expo tile. You're supposed to play it one tile farther back, because on a tile farther back, then it can't actually... You can play something in front of it, because the edge of the Expo lines up here. Like, yeah. So he just gave up his entire tower, so I'm going to go in right now, because I've got my Evo Cycle, and he's just giving me archers for free, too. So the Empress will completely snipe off those archers. I'm going to get a second Empress down in a moment here, and then that'll be the end of this guy. Just his end. Evo Zap this because I want to make sure that the P.E.K.K.A. gets another shot off. Very nice. And the Empress... Oh, that's actually a drawback. If the Empress was lower range, she would have been in rage range there. So I'm going to Expo, like, I don't know, now? No? He gave up? Okay, that's fine. Well, I'll see you guys in the next match. Well, I mean, I have been saying that I can't really feel the Empress buffs at all, but I also haven't lost a single game. So I take it with a grain of salt. So, Evo Zap is more important than Evo Ram. In the games where you need Evo Zap more than you need Evo Ram. So I'm going to be playing my Evo Zap first. I can't tell what this guy's playing. I'm just going to Ram the back. Ram is pretty spell immune because there's nothing good into Ram. The best thing you can do is probably, like, Lightning. That's a -2 trade. Skelly Spirit Cannon could be really anything. I'm going to Demolisher the river straight up. Against Cycle, you can really mess with against Cycle players, you can really mess with their Cycle by just playing stuff at the river, especially a hard-to-handle thing like Demolisher. You can see there that I actually get damage off of that. Okay, I'm going to poison this. I need to get this queen off the map as soon as possible. That is a really bad trade for me. I really needed to have my P.E.K.K.A. in hand there, so that really hurts. Yeah, I kind of starting-handed him with the Demolisher, and then I got starting-handed with the Queen. I needed to have my P.E.K.K.A. in hand in order to stop the Queen. There's nothing else good in this deck that can stop a Queen except for a Battle Ram or a P.E.K.K.A., and if he's playing pigs, it must be a P.E.K.K.A., so I lost 2/3 of my tower there for no good reason. Yippee! Skellies. How many cards has it been? He might have actually used 3-card cycle to get around faster, so I'm going to lumberjack the back this lane. I don't want him to pigs again so soon, because I want to stall until I can have an Evo cycle going. He decides to just delivery my lumberjack. Okay, interesting. I'm going to Demolisher the back. He has EQ as his big spell, which means that he's going to have a hard time breaking through a Demolisher the back. He's going to have to play opposite lane if he wants to. Yeah, okay. And I'm going to ignore those because I'm intending to make this a 1-tower game. So, he gets a Queen ability off of my P.E.K.K.A., but his Queen is going to get one-tapped as soon as she comes out of the ability. Very nice. I'm going to wait for Empress Elixir and then Empress snipe his cannon, because he's going to play that. And then probably, Ram with this Empress right now. I really wish I could zap his Skellies. No, he's not going to Skellies. Interesting. Okay. I'm actually going to Evo Zap this Queen. It's not a good trade because I'm losing my Evo Zap, but I really want to get that Queen off the map. Very nice. I'm going to lumberjack the back again to discourage him from playing his pigs as much as possible. I had to play my Ram at some point, so I'm just going to play it now. I know that whenever I play a Ram, eventually I'm going to be taking a negative trade, but I know that I need to get to my Evo Ram. Wow, that's a crazy play. I don't know what he thinks he's doing with that. I have my Demolisher in hand, and Demolisher is a crazy good pigs counter, and he just wasted his Evo Cannon, so he's going to have a hard time on his next push here. Alright, he also played his stuff kind of bad there. He's going to have to play something on this Demolisher if he doesn't want to get a hit. I'm going to Lumberjack preemptively for the pigs here, and then P.E.K.K.A. like about here, or right here, right into the pigs. I don't know what the pigs were. He kind of has to take my tower here if he wants to live. Okay, so he needs, what, 3 Earthquakes? I can snipe off his cannon with my Empress right now, especially after the range buff. He's wasted his cannon now, and he didn't play his Queen first, so he's not 3-card cycling around to his cannon yet, which is very good for me. I have to wait for these Skellies about now. No Skellies? Where's Skellies? He didn't play any Skellies? Doesn't like living? Doesn't like living. Okay, well, I'm just gonna assume that this guy is dead right now because, yeah, Empress kind of did that. Empress did that. You see actually there, the Empress survived 1 extra tower shot because of the health buff. Wow, much impact. But, yeah, I beat him. Well, I was going to try and play in a good example game with my Giant Mini P.E.K.K.A deck because I like Giant Cycle. But I only face trash players who don't actually showcase the deck correctly for me and just lose automatically. So I guess we're just going to go back to the P.E.K.K.A deck for the last game of this episode. So, yeah, this guy is getting muted right now. I can E-Wiz this because Firecracker actually... Well, E-Wiz is just very good at retargeting things, I'm sure you can imagine. But looks like this guy is playing a trash Minor Firecracker deck, which is so fun. Unfortunate that I don't have my E-Wiz in hand for that bush, but he doesn't have his Firecracker in hand yet. I guess we'll see in this matchup how the Firecracker nerf will handle. I have to P.E.K.K.A high here because he's going to that, and then I can Empress to try and retarget these. They don't retarget at all. But he did kind of just spend 6 elixir into, 7 elixir into my P.E.K.K.A, so if he doesn't have an Inferno Tower or something of that nature here, he's kind of dead. We'll see about that. Curse. Excuse me? Okay, yeah, this guy is mega dead. Alright, so that's tower down. I think I'll start setting up for his next tower because I am greedy and I want both towers. So, please die. No death. Oh, that's so nice. I love to see that. Okay, now I'm gonna start setting up for the next tower because I don't have to play anything on that. I don't have to play anything on that. Yeah, that was a terrible Tesla. Most cycle players like playing their buildings right next to the middle, but once you're down a tower, you can't do that anymore. So it was kind of just a trick play. I can zap this and then demolish her. Probably demolish her opposite lane because I'm still trying to take this guy's 2nd and 3rd crown because he's annoying and I want to. So, Minor Bush, Golden Knight, Firecracker, Tesla. Certainly an interesting Golden Knight placement. This isn't a good example game either. He's just trash. Great. Alright, well, I'm just going to P.E.K.K.A this because I don't know why he even bothered giving me a Golden Knight of value because I'm going to play my P.E.K.K.A anyway. I'll E-Wiz this, like, here to make sure that the Firecracker is far away from my tower. Yeah, I got no words for this man. He's kind of just dead a million ways right now because he's trash. Probably going to Empress behind this. He decides to Tesla, which is a better placement this time because I can't snipe it, but I have Ram! Yippee! And the Tesla won't pull the Ram in the pocket, so, yeah. Once you're as a cycle player, you really just can't afford to tower trade. Tower trading is a terrible idea as a cycle player unless it's against Graveyard or Expo. In those 2 specific scenarios, you can tower trade, and everywhere else you cannot. Yeah, that's fun. So I got 6 crowns off this game, because he took not one of my towers, and I took all 3 of his. I love it when they give me trash players, and I don't get to actually play the game, because they're just so bad. Well, yeah, these balances are going to be pretty interesting. Start maxing your Empresses. Mark my words, she will be overpowered someday. Someday people will realize. See you guys next time.